Following on from Mental Health Week and looking forward to Ash Wednesday and Lent, I want to explore the idea of finding a space to be quiet, getting away from the pressures and constant visual stimulus of our screens that can grind us down and makes us anxious. A very important biblical passage for Lent is when Jesus went to the wilderness. He went to the wilderness to be free from distractions, to reflect, to get clarity on some major decisions he had to make, to pray, to give space for God to speak to him. It's difficult now to get that. Wherever we are, there's the inevitable phone to interrupt us with these beeps to tell us that something has happened, or just the temptation to check in to our favourite social media to, well, look what's happening, drawn by that fear of missing out. There's not much actual wilderness in Wiltshire, but standing in the middle of Martindown is a good approximation. Away from a screen, in the fresh air, big views, a great restorative place. A great place to think, to reflect, to pray, to open ourselves to what God may be saying to us. Much easier, of course, if you're an adult with a car, I just drive out here. Much more difficult for most of you. But there are still ways you can find some space, either a physical space or some activity which gives your overstimulated mind a rest. Number one is it must be away from a screen. Ideally, it should be outside. That would become easier as we move towards spring. Doing nothing is an important part of this, as in just walking, if you can find a big enough space to do that. Cycling or running delivers the same thing. You can create a restorative space in a very small area by lighting a candle and sitting silently in front of it. You can create a restorative space by doing some manual activity, maybe some craft or painting or drawing. Playing a musical instrument can do the same thing, but not using a screen in the process. Lent is often seen as a time for giving things up, often food, so it can look simply like a holy diet. I suggest that right now a much better practice for Lent would be taking up something, finding more ways of creating space for ourselves away from a screen where we can reflect and give God the opportunity to speak to us.